Hi, Eric here with 30x40 Design Workshop. Today I want to talk a little bit about the sign that we made for the studio. Now the studio project is almost complete and I'm excited to show you around, and that will be coming up in a video in the very near future, I promise. But today I'm going to talk a little bit about the sign that we made and also a little design hack, one of my favorite hardware components, the rare earth magnet cup sets. And these are, you can purchase these online, really affordable, and I just wanted to talk about how that interacts with the sign that we made here. Once you have a building concept in architecture, everything else can kind of feed into that concept and sort of have that concept make sense. And the sign was no different for us here. So what I decided was to do a white on white sign. Now, if you've been following along the video series, you know that our barn doors out front flanking the main entry are white hardy plank cement board. And so I thought it would be really nice if the sign were a subtle complement to that. And we've been talking about the building concept being, the building is acting as a lens for the seasons. And I thought it would be nice if this sign could be really subtle, super subtle, but also sort of feed into that concept. And what I decided to do was do a laser cut stencil of the 30x40 logo. And so just a simple text logo here. And it's cut out of 1/8 of an inch acrylic. I have a laser cutter, so that made this exercise pretty easy. The acrylic obviously is really durable outside, and the white on white keeps it subtle, and it allows the sun and the light from the site to animate the sign. So throughout the day, as the sun moves, the shadow tracking against the building is kind of what animates the sign and gives it a little bit of interest. So just a simple concept, but it also sort of reinforces the ideas that we've been working with. Now, I chose to mount it using these concealed rare earth magnet cup sets, and I'll talk about those in just a second. But the reason for that was because I wanted the sign to stand off from the building. So I wanted there to be a sort of shadow line behind the sign. I wanted that the sun to be able to cast a shadow against the building and have that give it some depth and life. The other thing that using these magnets does is it allows us to take the sign off when we're not open, or it allows us to change it in the future. Now the cup magnets, my favorite supplier is Lee Valley, and I'll put the links in the video notes below. And they come in these little plastic containers. If you have young children and these rare earth magnets around, just be really careful. You want to keep them obviously away from sensitive electronics, your hard drives, things like that, because these are super strong magnets. But they come in these containers. They're about $1 per set, and a set consists of a cup. And the cup here has a little recess in the back of it, which you use to mount it to using a small screw to the substrate. Now you can either mount it on the face or you can recess it the depth of the cup. So these can be completely recessed in a surface. So it consists of the cup, and then there's a flat washer, and the flat washer here gets mounted to the secondary surface. And in our sign example here, we've mounted it to the back of the acrylic here. And actually, just to get into that for a second, I used 3M's Marine Adhesive. This is 5200. It's hard to glue things to acrylic, and this 5200 will keep it glued in place permanently. It takes a few days. There is a fast drying solution and a normal cure time solution. I use the normal cure. It's about 2 days for it to set up and become tack-free, but then it's permanent. And with the rare earth magnets, you want a permanent connection here. Using a hot glue or an epoxy will not bond it to this surface. So that's what we used here. Now, getting back to the cup set, so we have the flat washer, and again, this has sort of countersunk hole in it, so you can mount this to your other substrate. And the last component of the set is the magnet, and the rare earth magnets come in anything from about 1/8 of an inch, which is really, really tiny, all the way up to about 1 inch. Now this is about 1/2 inch here that we're using. And so this system altogether, once you get the cup sort of recessed into your surface, you drop this magnet into there, and that will sit in the cup almost permanently. It's really difficult to get out, so make sure you've mounted everything before you drop the magnet in there. And then the flat washer will mount to that face, and you can see it's quite difficult to remove. So what we've done on the side of the studio here is mount these to the face of the building, and then the sign comes in and it can attach to the face like that. Now you can vary the offset, the standoff dimension of this by adding sort of intermediate metals. So if you want to add thicker washers in the middle of this, you can do that, and they will increase the depth of the sign piece here. I'm gluing things quite often here in the studio, so if I'm gluing some cardboard together and I don't have the time to sit there and hold it, I use the magnets to do that for me. It acts as an extra pair of hands. In our main house, we've taken a couple of these cup magnet sets, and we used actually the 3/4 inch variety, and we mounted them to the wall. I went to Home Depot, picked up an inexpensive piece of bar steel. This bar stock is about 1/4 inch by a couple inches wide. Mounted the cups to the wall using drywall anchors, and then I affixed the bar to the wall. And then we have a way of leaving notes for each other. I'm going to use this in the studio as well. So I'll mount this to the wall using the cup set, and then I'll use the magnets to hang up drawings for presentations, or I'll use it as an inspiration bar so I can pin photos to it using these rare earth magnets. This could also be used as a vertical bar pull. So you can imagine mounting a couple of these cup washers to a sliding door, the face of a sliding barn door, for example. Go and buy this piece of steel bar for a couple of bucks, and you have yourself a vertical bar pull that's very inexpensive. So just a couple of these will work fine. We've also used them as pocket door strikes, so you can recess this in the strike jamb of a pocket door and add the washer to the sliding door face, and it will positively engage, and with a slight tug it opens the door, so it gets close and closes it. You can use them for concealed panel mountings. Affix this to the back side of a panel. You have a plumbing chase or an electrical panel that you don't want to see any exposed fasteners on the front of. Use these rare earth magnets for that. Just make sure you have a way of being able to get access to the edge of the panel so that you can pull it out. So lots of different uses for these. Super affordable, leevalley.com. And let me know what your ideas are in the comments for the video for how you would use these magnets. All right, thanks for watching.